I like this. This looks great. Very good. I'm going to pray. God, I thank you for waking me up this morning. I thank you for giving me a chance to try again and again until it's done in a rhythm that you have designed for me that I can tap into whenever. God, I thank you for the grace, for the love, for the support, for the guidance, and for being the light, for being the love that I need. I ask that you will speak through me right now for this video so that I can tell my truth, and may it bless and touch others that are listening, and may it reach the right person. I thank you for giving me the chance to be of an example of your love and your light and your ability to create that lives in us. May the Spirit continue to work within my artwork. Amen. Perfect. Here's a story on how I allowed my mental health to affect my artwork. For those of you that do not know me, my name is Joshua Ashley. I'm an artist, visionary, creative director, all of the above, singer, songwriter. I like to tell people that I'm still learning how to dance. So the goal here is to share my artistry journey with everyone watching and those who need some inspiration, some encouragement, because I believe that the truth does set you free. I'm taking this video with a more serious note because I went through something very traumatic, and I know I'm not the only person, but I know that representation matters, and I would love to share what I've learned throughout this process. Health is literally everything to us, from our mental to our physical to our spiritual. And it's everything that I'm focusing on nowadays. A friend asked me, what do I want? And the first thing I thought about was a healthy lifestyle. Healthy in my mind, my body, my soul, my spirit. Healthy in relationships, healthy with my money. I just see myself living a more healthy lifestyle, which technically I'm doing it. And I'm learning, and I'm seeing how I can do it better than yesterday and the day before. So without looking in the past with sorrow, I'm able to share what took place and bring some enlightenment to what it means to be present. And I know I recorded a video about being present a while ago, which I need to pull out and see how I can compare the two. Because it's so funny that I was talking about being present then, and I really wasn't. The tea is that I was using affirmations, my prayers, I was using the confirmations, the conversations with others and with myself as distractions. And I know that sounds weird, but I literally was in autopilot mode, in this survival mode that kept me away from focusing on what I needed to focus on, which was creating. And God made that clear. I'm a believer in signs. I'm a believer in warnings. I believe God speaks to us in so many different ways to make sure that our attention is here, that we're aligned with what's going on. Because I wasn't focused on creating, which is spending time with God, I allowed myself to worry. And it's like, when you're in the moment, when you're worrying, you don't catch yourself. I've witnessed other people tap into a state of worry, and it's just like an overflow of stress, anxiety. And if I'm able to see that in others and they don't catch it for themselves, I know I didn't catch it. And that's where I feel like God, the Spirit, comes in to shake us up a little bit and say, hey, come on. So realizing that I wasn't focused, I was more so focused on how I'm gonna pay this, how I'm gonna do this. And I didn't focus on the actual meaning to all of this, which is the artwork, the journaling, the spending time with God in all of that, writing out ideas and planning. I have a creative services business called JA Visuals. I started it back in high school, literally. Saved up, borrowed the camera from Yearbook, went and did photo shoots for the seniors at the time, saved up for my own camera. My mom helped out a little bit, and I got stuff from all over. I can't remember right now. My aunt bought me a camera lens kit, and all kind of stuff. A backdrop with lights, and really started that. And that was young Joshy. And back then it was a hobby. Didn't make it serious until 2020 when COVID happened, got let go of my creative job as a lead graphic designer. I was still in college, but I used that as the opportunity to say, you know what? Let's go and get my DBA and let's do this for real. Let's actually step into my calling as a creative in the professional world and do this. Well, I used to spend a lot of time comparing my work to other professionals, and that was my biggest mistake, because when I started to experiment with my own type of style, that's when I found my look. That was years later, but 2020 really set it off for me, and I changed my website, did, the whole nines, which I need to go back and redo some things because we're leveling up. And that's the whole point of this conversation, which went into launching Oasis, the book that I wrote and created for the launch of my art career. They both work hand to hand. I was able to launch Oasis in 2021. And if it wasn't for everything that happened beforehand, that wouldn't have happened. Little context there. Got the vision in 2018. God said, write a book. I said, I'm no author. God said, write a book. I said, and that's when I got the idea to plan it out. And every writing had an art piece. It was a great experience. It revealed a lot to me. And I feel like over time, it's shown what Oasis truly means. And I'm finding little pieces here and there, and I'm putting the puzzle together. It's almost like the artwork is speaking for itself. All I have to do is experience the life and then translate it through the artwork, which my goal here is to merge everything that I create physically with digital media, music, and just create this universe of bringing awareness to restoration, healing, love, and light, all of the things that God has revealed to me on this journey. So as you can see, I'm very passionate about my artwork. I'm very passionate about what I do here on earth because time is limited. And even though we have unlimited resources and we have the ability to create whatever, we can tend to waste it. And I feel like from December to May, I wasted time worrying about things that are out of my control, that I couldn't do anything in that moment to change, and I allowed it to affect my artwork terribly, like never before. So let's get into it. This is my work journal. I use this for work notes, tasks, ideas, planning, all of the above. So when I met with my creative assistant, I wrote out the timeline of this because I wanted to make sure I got this correct. I think it's flipped, but it says Book of Joshua. That's my handle on socials, Book of Joshua 7. And so I got this as a gift, and I love it. I use it every day now. So let's go through the timeline. I had a very special event to cover. It was a wedding from a mutual, and they are like family to me. And I'll never forget meeting this couple. I didn't shoot theirs. I shot her sisters. And it was like meeting authentic people in a space where people weren't genuine or were in this box and very robotic. So to see someone have the same values as me and come off as a real person and unashamed of that, I gravitated towards them immediately. And I remember I was going through it one day and I ran into them, and it was like literally looking at an angel, like a bright light. It was, I cried, and I cried in her arms. She prayed with me. And so they trusted me to capture a special moment for their family. And I remember during this time, this was April 18th. I remember during this time, I was going from photo shoot to photo shoot, senior session, events, pop-ups, just back to back, headshots. And J Visuals was doing great. Can't complain at all because the business was there. The requests were there. Even in February, I had got together with a couple friends and we did a Valentine pop-up. and a Mini. It was great. It was our first time doing something like that, but we enjoyed it. We got a couple, bookings from that and experience. So it's like during that time, even though I know mentally I was like, man, I have stuff that's gonna be due in May. What am I gonna do? It's freaking out. I was in panic mode. And what I'm learning is that in panic mode, it gets you in this space of confusion, and you're all just in your head, and it's just the anxiety is just off the roof. You cannot actually focus on the creative process if you're caught up into that thought process. So I put on here use calendar, because I don't know about y'all, I have issues with a schedule. I like to go with the flow. Even though in the past I love to plan stuff to the T. And the reason why I don't like schedules is because in the past, when I would like to schedule everything and plan, and when something would go off the norm and doesn't happen as I planned, I would literally crash out. So to help my mental health, I just started going with the flow. As a working professional in the creative world, I need to use my calendar. And that was something that I did use, but not while I was in autopilot mode, because I was trying to go next. So I had a photo shoot, a couple of them, on the 26th. And then I had an event to cover on the 27th. And I remember during that time, I wasn't present. I didn't take the time to follow my process of moving footage over at the right time and storing them in the right places. And before the event, I formatted my card. And I'll never forget looking back on that moment, which I'll come back to that. Mother's Day weekend came around, and I had to help my best friend move into his first apartment on Friday before I left. Saturday, I got on the road, and about halfway there, my car started acting up the minute I left the parking lot from the gas station. Well, I got 20 minutes away from my grandmother's house, and it didn't want to go over 10 miles an hour, and I knew, okay, it's not right. Because it was Mother's Day weekend, I chose not to make this weekend about this car. So mentioning signs and warnings, this was a clear sign. And I went mute. Like, not in a way like don't talk to me. I went mute internally and said, okay, God, I'm listening. What do you have for me to take note of and pay attention to? So that was April 10th. We had a great Mother's Day weekend. Great. Very smooth, very intentional. Gifts were amazing, and got to spend time with my mother, and it was just overall good. I love being home. I love the road trips. It's just something that's a part of our culture. Shop gave us the report and said that it's the catalytic converter, which I had already gotten replaced 2 years ago, or 2.5 years ago. And so we're trying to figure out, why is this the issue? I wrote down here, knowledge is power, because I got to witness my mother speak from a place of knowledge that she only got from experience. We go to the auto shop, they tell us the issue, we call the previous place that fixed it here in Houston. They said there's nothing we can do because the warranty is ended. Oh, that's a convenience, but these things are supposed to last you 5 to 10 years, so what's the real issue here? Well, they ended up telling us that the catalytic converter was hollow. I don't know what that means, but apparently there's supposed to be something in there. And this is why I wrote down knowledge is power, because then it gave me the idea. Learn more about cars. Learn about the things that you own and see how it changes the way that you talk to other people, because you know what's going on. They know. So you can have a communication and make sure no one's just running you over. So my mom literally went into boss mode. Okay? Those who do not know my mother, she is a very powerful force. Her energy is to the roof. Her name is literally Kanita because her dad worked in engineering and said that she moved around in the womb so much. So he named her after kinetic energy. My mother was able to use her gifts and change the mortuary and funeral business. And it's just, her impact is huge. So she manages one of the largest funeral homes here in Houston, and I got to see her be a mother but also be a boss, because she knows what she's talking about, because she has to deal with this at her job. So shout out to the moms out there who hold it down for their kids. Especially being on Mother's Day, I learned so much out of that situation. We couldn't get a part in for at least 3 days. So that means I had to stay there for an extra 3 days. And I could have easily turned into a brat, but I didn't. And I used this as an opportunity to be still, literally. My car is not working, I'm just gonna be still. I have my laptops, both of them, for my corporate job and for my business. I have my dog, everything he needs, and I have some pair of clothes that I can wash. And I got money in the bank to go buy my meal prep. Because that was another thing. I love my people. I love my hometown. However, I cannot eat soul food every day. So I had to go and buy prep, take care of that, and just take it day by day. I sent some of my clients a update on Monday and just started my week. I even went to the store and bought art supplies because I said I want to continue to paint, because right before all of this happened, I literally at the beginning of May, I said the beginning of May is going to look so different from the end of May, because I believed in something happening in May. Well, I didn't know it was going to tear me apart. Back to the story. Wednesday, I opened up my computer to work on the next thing, and it was the wedding. So I had already started preparing files for the wedding because I had files there from the second shooter that was there. So when I wanted to go through and continue the process, I noticed that the footage was not there. My heart sank, and very traumatic experience for me. I went outside, and the first thing out of my mouth was, God, I know you haven't left my side. What did I do? And I'm getting emotional right now because, that was very intense. I value people who see my art and want to replicate that. And in this case, I failed this client, a new client, things that I've prayed for. And in that moment, God was like, I want you to nurture what you have and stop asking for more. And it wasn't me asking for more was the issue. I was focused on what's next instead of nurturing what I already have. So instead of living and sitting in my anxiety, I just went straight to God, which showed me that, okay, I'm a place where I'm not calling people and venting. I'm going straight to source and having a conversation. I cried, but during that moment, God was showing me what I did for this to happen. And he showed me the day before that event when I formatted the card and I wasn't following the right process. So I went into business mode like my mother, looked up solutions, found a program that was half off, paid for it, expensive. I recovered all the photos, thank God. But I also recorded video, and the videos weren't showing up. So I had a moment with my grandmother, and she hugged me, and I wept in her arms because I told her, a lot popping off lately, and I'm not crashing out. However, this really hurt me, and my soul was just grieving because not only I lost client work, but I lost a sweet, tender moment when I went to the cemetery 2 weeks before that to give some honor and respect to my ancestors. And I recorded myself during that process, and I journaled, and I actually finished my first adult journal there. So that was hard for me to accept that all of that footage is gone. But it taught me a very expensive and deep lesson that will never happen again. The next day I spoke to my other grandmother on my dad's side, and she said, I believe there's something else. Go and look. I looked on TikTok and found a video where this girl said if you get this SD card brand, which is the brand I always use, they give you a 2-year free subscription or license to the recovery software. So I went to the store, bought it, $16, cheapest SD card, just so I can get the license, which could have saved me a lot more money the other day, but I was still in panic mode the day before because I needed to get that. I just couldn't sleep without knowing that I could get something from a recovery. So after recovering about half the videos, I said, okay, I accepted that, and I updated the client. My car was ready. I got my car and stayed in town because I wanted to make sure everything was okay. And I left on this April 16th. She didn't respond until I got back home, and it was late. And I could hear the frustration, and I totally get it. And I use this as an opportunity to be completely honest. And that is why I believe the truth sets you free, because this was a moment of ownership. I made a huge mistake. I can never get this back. And I allowed my mental health to affect my artwork in a way that I will never get back. So this lesson may be for me, but also for others who can relate. We ended up having a conversation. I told her the truth. She saw my heart and said that she's a woman of grace, and we will work through this. And that was like refreshing to hear. Very next day, I got myself together because I was looking a little busted, I'm not gonna lie, and cleaned up what I needed to, just started the process of reconnecting and recovery for myself. The next day, I went out to get lunch, flat tire. I still didn't crash out. I continued my recovery process. I started to fast on the 19th. I didn't go anywhere that weekend. I stayed home. And the first day of the fast, I had the phone call with the client. We talked about it. We worked through, came up with solutions. And for the rest of those days while fasting, I was able to have conversations with other clients, with other creatives that, I felt the need to send an apology for just not being present. Because it doesn't just affect you, it affects everyone else around you. I met with my creative assistant the last day of the fast, and we were able to plan and talk through this. I wanted him to learn, because he's younger, what it means to have something like this that's special, but also it's work. So it's like you are working for money, but really I should be working for the love of art, working because I have the opportunity to do this, to create something that other people can hold dear to their heart. So I started writing out a plan and solutions for how to move forward. And I feel like I'm in a much better place, 100%. And because of everything that took place, it allowed me to see it all clearly. And now today, it's June. We made it out of May. But right before we made out of May, I think this is the wrong journal. I prayed 3 days before the end of May. As I was going to get my hair colored, I prayed because I realized in that moment, and I know it's the spirit, I didn't spend time with God in the morning. So I had to pause. My music, I was looking through my music and I was like, I don't want this song. And then it's like the spirit was like, stop. I was like, you're right. No music, let's talk. So I just started giving my flowers to God. I started, showing gratitude, listening to things that I am grateful for. And that's when it clicked that my admiration, my praise has changed from what it used to look like and be to now something more genuine. And that turned into tears of joy because I realized that I'm in a space where that's possible. And then it turned into something more serious where I prayed in the spirit to release anything that was holding me back. Any person, any way of thinking, any activity, anything that's holding me back. Because the entire time I was experiencing stuff back to back, I knew exactly what was going on. I knew something good is coming and it's larger because I've been here before. And when I look back to those moments, I saw how God always came through. But my part in it was making sure that I was able to receive. I can't receive something large. I can't receive something that I haven't received before if I don't clean up. How are you gonna expect guests to come over in a dirty apartment? So I had to clean up and get rid of some things and release in order to make room for the new. And that process took place. Tell me why the night before the 31st, that night, same situation happened. I go to turn on the TV and error. I said, what? So I was like, oh, let's pray. Pulled that journal out. I started writing. And I wrote about my experience of release, which turned into another moment with God where I just let go. Yes, it was surrenderance, was also a moment of clarity. I just got glasses. So it's crazy that this whole process, I got glasses to see clearly physically, but I've gained this spiritual understanding and clarity like no other before. I will tell you right now that I would be a fool to return to what I was doing, because I know what to do now for this, where I'm at, for this time, for this place in my life. And in that moment, I was so open to hear from God and just see that this is what it truly means to turn away. I never really saw it clearly. Yeah, there's things that we do that don't work out for us, and we continue to make these same cycles and we do the same things until we finally learn. And I believe that was a moment for me. And now I'm trying to see how I can apply this in other areas of my life. My grandmother, she told me, there's something that you're not doing. And that was just echoing in my head. If God is telling you there's something that I'm not doing, what is it? And when I received the clarity, this entire time, the message was that I wasn't spending time with God in my creation, what I was literally born to do, which sent a cause and effect motion of chaos. Because the thing is, God is always there. Everything is at our fingertips. We have the ability to create the life that we want. But when we're not tapped in, it's not going to go that way. It's not going to be this journey where you're able to, how do I put it? I know that life is rocky, but sometimes when things are too rocky, you're like, okay, what am I doing that's not working? You know, it's kind of like when you're figuring something out at work. You know, you have to work smarter, not harder. So that's where I saw I am not working smarter, and I flipped it. So now I'm in a place where I am receiving instructions, and I thought, like, I never actually wrote down my debt and how much money I currently need right now so that I can bring it to God. And so I wrote that number down. And to me, it's small because majority of it's student loans. So it's like, me, it's small, right? That's something that I can get. And I'm going to share that number. It's $116,905.24. I wrote that down and I said, I believe that this is coming. And I believe that God is working so that I can receive this payment in a perfect way under grace. Because it's going to come at the right time. And that's the biggest affirmation I've been saying this entire time is I get everything I want and everything I need at the right time. There's no need to worry or stress because I get everything I want and everything I need at the right time. So by believing that, why even worry? I was saying that affirmation from December to May, but I wasn't believing it. That's the part that really messed me up the most. So now we're in June. I am welcoming June and all the possibilities and opportunities with open arms. I am no longer stepping in the way of myself and continue to share everything that I've learned. I feel like this was an instruction to do. Share this story with others because who knows, there could be a little Joshie somewhere watching this and get to learn from it. So if you are struggling right now with anxiety, depression, any type of worry or stress, I want to pray for you because we are in this together. And I believe that the power that lives in me will go through this camera and touch you. I believe it. So God, I thank you for this moment. I thank you for speaking to me through the lessons that I've learned. I thank you for providing light so that I can see my next step in order to make the right decision that'll be closer to the dreams that have been planted in me. Thank you for the ability to translate through my art. And I thank you for the person who is watching. May you touch their life. May you continue to grow in their mind and give them the ability to go within, to see the oasis within and spend time with you. God, I ask that you would touch them when they feel like they have nothing else in this world for them. God, you are there for them. I thank you right now in this moment for touching their heart and their mind and their spirit and uplifting them and breaking them free for any type of negative thought, any negative frequency that is carrying them. I ask that you will replace it with your love and your light. Thank you, God. Amen. Awesome. Well, this was great. This feels new to me, but it doesn't. It feels very familiar. And I hope to continue to be an example of what it means to have faith through this situation. I haven't gotten the money yet, but it's coming. And I will update y'all as soon as it's here. Thank you for watching. As always, be kind to yourself and be kind to others. Thank you.